a PC in the Corsair 750D Obsidian series case. I've never built in this one, but I have built in the Obsidian 750D SE case where it has the tempered glass front, tempered glass side. Uh, really trying this out, seeing how it goes. I really like these cases because, I mean, like, it's very easy to work with them. These and Fantex cases, I think, are honestly the two easiest. So, we're gonna start though, going over the parts. Parts we're using today. We got we got an R9290. You're not kidding yourself. That we're putting in this build temporarily until we can get an RTX 30 series. Kind of ran into some problems. You know, it's called COVID-19 and everyone losing their mind trying to get these new cards. So, we're going to be utilizing this guy, though. I think this is going to be an easy build, hopefully. But we're using a Ryzen 7 3700X with 16 gigabytes, DDR4, 3600 megahertz RAM speeds. We're using a 550 watt EVGA. So yeah, it'll be really cool. And I think that's it. Oh yeah, we got a 4 terabyte Western Digital Black Series hard disk drive with a 1 terabyte solid state that we're also throwing in. So going to be a pretty straightforward build. Nothing too crazy. Decide to move your break to New Year's and my Xbox Live runs out, dude. Oh man. Hey, you never know though what you might get for Christmas. So you know. Yeah, we're going to start with getting the processor all set in place on the motherboard. We're going to put this guy kind of off to the side for right now. So, as I said, we moved to a different... Hold up. I got to figure out what cam goes to what. Holy shit. We got too many cameras. I think it's this one. Oh, cool. Definitely not that camera. But close enough, I guess. So, yeah, as you can see, though, we're going to be building a PC tonight, and then we'll also be switching over to some Call of Duty a little bit later after we get done with this. I figure this will probably take us an hour, if that. All right. So, I actually have a new camera. I'm using the Elgato camera app, and I want to try it. I don't know how this is going to work. So, this is actually coming from my camera on my phone through USB. It's pretty cool. But, so like I said, we're starting with the ROG Strix B550F Gaming. This is a really, really good AMD motherboard if you're not trying to break the bank. Right, very important thing. I don't think anyone's trying to break the bank. But yeah, so we got this bad boy right here, and we're gonna go ahead and get our CPU mounted, maybe. So there it is. I love, like, these are just really, like, the ROG motherboards have really upped their game. They look pretty. Very pretty motherboards. I have the Crosshair Hero and I absolutely love it. So it's very pretty. Like, they have hands down probably some of the coolest motherboard designs I've ever seen. So we'll go ahead, get this bad boy open. This the Ryzen 7s also comes with the Wraith cooler. So if you've never seen that, I'll kind of show you. It does come with pre-applied thermal paste, but we will be removing the thermal paste on it. Ugh, I hate that. This stuff pre-applied is garbage. But yeah, so there is the Wraith Spire RGB fan. Pretty cool fan, actually. And yeah, so we'll be taking this stuff off, putting some fresh thermal paste on it. I always do that. I don't ever use any type of pre-existing thermal paste. That's just not happening. Everyone has a motherboard, but the fatherboard went out to get gas. Who's PC? It's my cousin's. Yeah, it's my cousin Ethan. It's his Christmas gift. Then we got, of course, the Ryzen 7 3700X. So, first things first, right? Whenever you're dealing with any type of piece like this, you'll definitely make sure you're grounded. I have a grounding thing on my leg, so I am officially grounded for life. So that way you don't have any type of electrostatic discharge. That's a serious no-go. You do not want to have that problem. It is not good when dealing with computers. So, with this, just kind of changing the angle here, you'll see there is a little dot, right, on this. Kind of trying to figure out my angle here. There's a little arrow, right? You want to line that up. And if you don't, you're going to bend all your pins on your CPU, and you'll be crying. It's not fun. But we want to release it here. And what should happen when you go and put this on, it literally should just sit in there. Come on. Why? There we go. So once you get it to sit in, it should be pretty snug. It should not move. If it moves, you're really going to not have a good time. Then you just push down on it, and now that is secured in there, not going anywhere. That's what you want, right? You do not want to move. And if it's moving, it's not good. And when you go to fire it up, nothing's going to happen because this is your brain for your computer to operate. Obviously, you really want to make sure you clean this off good. I usually just recommend using something like rubbing alcohol. Pretty easy method. You just want to make sure you don't have like any type of, like I was touching my fingers with it, right? So you want to obviously not have anything like that on there. So just go ahead, take a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Just clean off the top a little bit. Doesn't have to be anything too crazy, right? You just want to get those any types of oils from your body off. And then usually I just honestly dry it with my other side of my Q-tip. You got cotton swabs, that's okay. Just make sure it's not like really loose stuff. You don't want to have anything left on it, right? Like that would be bad. Do not do that. So now that that's clean, don't touch it. You're gonna want to touch it. Don't touch it. All right. The next thing is we gotta get our CPU cooler ready, because this is garbage. So with this stuff, you just have to. There's really no easy way to clean this without making a bloody mess. Hence why I got like 5 paper towels. So the easiest way, honestly, guys, to start with this. Take 1 paper towel, get it wet with rubbing alcohol a little bit. So we'll go ahead and do that. And it doesn't have to be a whole lot, right? Because it's gonna get messy. It's just gonna happen. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna move the motherboard up a little bit because you don't want to get like rubbing alcohol on it, for example. That'd be really bad. But it is a process, guys. Cleaning the thermal paste off. So you just gotta kind of work with it. Try not to touch the fins. You don't want to bend them. And then with this, you're just gonna kind of slowly rub it in a circle here. And you'll see it starts coming off rather easy, right? It's nothing too crazy. And that is why you don't want to use it, because it's that easy to rub off. It's not going to do that much to help your computer stay cool. So, rub it off. It's worth it. Trust me. You might use a Q-tip to get into those grooves, because I definitely see some more leftover thermal paste in there. And yeah, so not too bad. Definitely looks a lot better than those little dots they had on it. We're going to go ahead, grab another Q-tip. Again, with the Q-tips, you just... I like these because they have like a little hole. And just put the end of it in there and get it wet a little bit. That's it. That's all you got to do. Very simple. And Q-tips, I mean, come on. It's not rocket science. Q-tips. But yeah, you see how they can get in those grooves a little bit better? Yeah, you can definitely see some coming off. So you just want to try and get all that old stuff off there. It's not, if you don't get all of it, it's not the end of the world, okay? But it definitely helps if you just have nothing left on it. That way when you go to put your fresh thermal paste on, you know, there's nothing possibly interfering with the cooling, you know, being able to be done properly. And then take a dry paper towel. Make sure you don't have any loose liquid on it, because it will not work very well with fresh thermal paste. You'll see it literally almost just like run right off. We're going to go ahead and close our rubbing alcohol up. So the next part is putting this on, right? We're just using a good old Arctic Silver 5 compound. This thermal compound. It's like $6-7 bucks. It's not a whole lot of money, and I've actually already used this one. I used this on my build earlier this year. This stuff stays good for a while, right? I wouldn't say like more than probably 2 years. I wouldn't hold on to it, but you know, if you go ahead and use some that someone, you know, a buddy of yours maybe has some left over, if it's a few months old, it's okay. So with thermal paste, you just got to be very careful with it because it gets everywhere. And you just want to put like a pea-size amount on the middle. Just like that, except, you know, I got it everywhere. So, pea-size amount, that's all you need, guys. And let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. You can see I got it on there. Not, you know, don't go too crazy with it. You don't want to have thermal paste going everywhere, right? At the end of the day, thermal paste should just evenly distribute across the whole board or the whole chip, and that's it. If you feel like you need a little bit more, you can put some. You just don't want it oozing off the side, right? At the end of the day, you don't want doing that. So the next part is getting this guy on. Now, this you have to kind of be somewhat careful with these AMD coolers. I have always learned this is the best way because you look like a complete idiot having AMD like this. And you also have then your fan power. You have to run like all the way around, and you're just not going to have enough. So, and with these little clamps here, these are actually really easy on AMD compared to like Intel. These little clamps, they slide up and down as such, right? And you want to get them around these two teeth here. Once you get them on the teeth, you'll see it just kind of snaps in, and there's this little lever. You close it all the way, and it's locked in. That's it. Very simple. I always start with the one that can't move a whole lot, this guy. So if you can get this one on first, try not to make sure you get your cord. So we got it partially set. And I'm going to rotate it here. So now, both sides are in. You're going to well, what the hell? There we go. It just shouldn't move, right? So you'll see now it's solid. It's not moving anywhere. If you do want to, you can go ahead and run this wire. This is just your CPU fan. So we want a CPU fan, which will be this guy up here. If you're not sure, you usually can look on the motherboard and see it, or you could also look at your manual. And there you go. So we got, honestly, this is, I'd say, probably one of the hardest parts about building a computer is once you really get that set, it's pretty straightforward from there. And you'll see, you know, the fan itself's pretty straightforward. We'll go ahead and put the RAM in too. Once we get the RAM in, we'll go ahead and get the case set up. We'll get it dropped in, get the power supply put in too. I usually do the case and the power supply before putting in the motherboard, just so you can already have most of your cables ran. Some people, you know, they're like opposite, where they just do it all at one time. If you want to do that, you can. I personally wouldn't. I like having like the case and the power supply already set, have my cords kind of already ran, knowing where I want them to go. Then all you gotta really do is put your risers in for your motherboard, get your motherboard situated, put the screws in the motherboard. You know, then from there, you just plug your hard drive in wherever you want to put it, and then put your GPU in, run power to it, and you're done. Pretty simple. Not really too complicated here. You know, it's just kind of doing it for the first time. I really like these boards. I want to go back to this camera view. I personally love these boards for the fact that they have these reinforced PCI Express 4 slots. These guys, they're made for heavier GPUs. If you got a graphics card that's got 3 fans on it, those things weigh quite a bit. So, you know, those are really, really nice, having that heavy reinforcement. This also has M2. We're not using M2 on the top as well as on the bottom here. We are going to be adjusting to M2 for this computer. My cousin, he just doesn't really have the money right now for a nice PCI 4.0 solid state drive. So once we, you know, get that money, we'll probably be switching that out. Probably just putting in a Western Digital Black Series, something like that. Which, speaking of which, we'll be doing that as well with my computer at some point this weekend. I don't know when, but we'll be doing it too. So very simple. And from there, we really just got, you know, get the RAM in. Like I mentioned, we're using the G.Skill Trident Z RGBs. This here is the, what clock speed I get? 3600, 16 gig clock, right? So the clock speed is just how fast it can send and receive temporary storage, because remember, RAM is random access memory. It is not permanent storage. So this will help you with like speeds for like Google Chrome, doing things like that. It isn't really going to help you with like rendering. That's where your CPU comes into play. So we're gonna go ahead and open this guy up. And you want to be careful when putting RAM in, because your motherboard has 2 primary RAM slots. And it's usually the first one on the right and the second one from the left. So if you have RAM, do make sure you're using it appropriately, because you're going to have a lot of problems if you don't. So And with RAM, it's usually a one-way only ticket, right? In most cases, you're going to want to put it in this way. It'll be short in on the bottom, longer in on the top. Very simple. Make sure you got your teeth open. We're actually going to put this one in first. This one's going to be harder. So you just want to line it up. Totally not the way I did. And once you get lined up, you just push down on it. And you'll hear it snap, and that's good. You want it to snap. Same goes for the next one. Very, simple. And there you go. Ram's in. That's simple, guys. Very easy. And really from here, we'll go ahead. We'll move the motherboard off to the side. We'll get the case up here. We'll get our power supply installed. This is a beefy boy. So this one, you want to make sure you got enough room to work with on your workspace. I got kind of a small workspace here. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, we'll go ahead and move this around. We'll just shift it right up here. There we go. And we'll leave our sticker off, but we'll go ahead and dispose of this in the case. Oh, also, don't forget with Ryzen's, you do get a sticker for that too, so you can show off to all your friends how OP your PC is. Very important. Oh, yes. If you are running a Ryzen cooler, you do have controllable RGB. You want to make sure you use this USB adapter with it. You do get it back, packed up with the fan. And actually, I'll show you real quick here on this. So you'll see there's like two little slots here, and you'll want to use the smallest one. You got a very small connector here that you want to plug into it. So we're just going to take out the smaller piece. Can prevent getting the big one. Try to do that. And because this will allow you then to use the Ryzen Cooler Master programming to then adjust your colors on your fan. If you don't do this, it just does a simple RGB rotation. That's it. Nothing too crazy. It's still pretty cool though, So we'll just go ahead and connect that guy. Let's see, I don't think I have a USB up top. Yep, so I'm gonna have to use the USB port here on the bottom. We'll work around all the wiring, but we'll just get it set so then it's done. And that's it. That's all it takes. Very simple. Nothing too crazy. That way now you can control your coloring, which is pretty cool because you can do some really cool stuff. So all right. So we got our, oh shit, I did not mean to do that. We got our case here. Wrong direction, Eric. Okay, hold up. There, that's a little bit better. Getting it the right direction, very, very important thing to do. B-dubs, you got any questions so far, bud? Is that kind of making sense to you? When you do open these cases, you'll usually see a bunch of loose parts. We'll just go ahead and pull those out. There, I'll switch back to this guy. So this is a non-tempered glass case. This is plastic. And it is a lot cheaper for that fact. It's like $100. Whereas if you do tempered glass, you're usually looking at about $150 or so. Don't lose these screws. These thumb screws are your friend. It's like having gold, as I've learned, building, various systems. It is a pretty important thing to not lose those. But here we got our SATA slider cases. Here's screws. Already can hear them shifting around there. And those just lock in. I really love the Corsair setup. Like, they have some really, really nice cases. But they also have great, like, ventilation. So this guy here is running 2 fans on the front, 1 exhaust fan on the back. So air comes in through the front, hits all the components, gets fed out the back. The hot air does. So you want to make sure you don't, screw that up. But yeah, so the power supply usually goes up here. And I really like these for the fact that your fan on your power supply is going to be facing down, but there's also a really nifty little grill you can pull out to clean and maintain. So it's a really nice case. These are really nice beginner cases. This is his first computer he's ever had. So, I definitely felt like this would be a good starter. And it doesn't break the bank. At the end of the day, $100. It's not too shabby. It is a steel chassis. So it does have a little bit of weight to it. With not having tempered glass, though, and it being plastic, that seriously helps with the weight distribution. And then up at the top here, if you do want to put in... yeah, you see these ones cannot come out. Some of these you can pull these out, but this one can't because it is a cheaper case. But these are your disk drives. We're not using a disk drive. This is all going to be simple, non-moving parts other than the hard disk drive. And that's it. And the fan, obviously. The fans do move. So we will have those moving. But other than that, let's go ahead. You know what? Yeah, let's not mess with that yet. Let's go ahead and pop this bad boy open. So these are probably, I'd say, easily one of the most reputable companies, EVGA. If you buy parts from them and you have any issues, I've been out of warranty with EVGA parts and they still helped out. Whereas similar experiences with like MSI have not been, unfortunately, as nice. But it's a really reputable company, and their customer support's pretty solid. So I personally would recommend EVGA, especially if you're doing first build, because if you screw something up, if you're honest with them, they usually will help you out. They want you to have a good experience, and it definitely shows in their customer support. At least the support I've had with them has been superb. So we got our power supply here, book, all the excess cables you can store in here. I really like, they don't need to do this, but they do it anyways, You got all your cords, because this is a fully modular, so we're only going to use the cords we need with the power supply. And, of course, you have the actual power supply right here. We're going to go ahead and pull this guy out. And yeah, EVGA, it's a solid company. They I really like their presentation. And so fully modular, again, guys, is simply where all this is removable. Whereas with a lot of these power supplies, if you don't get fully modular, like your motherboard power will all be connected. And then usually they have like your CPU power connected, and then your peripherals and your VGA power ports. Those you can add whatever you need in. But yeah, very clean power supply. So we're going to go ahead and get this guy mounted. I usually would recommend with the cords putting them in, because as you can see, once you get this guy mounted here, you got this much room to work with. So if you can run your cords first to this, and that way you know what you're working with, it definitely makes things a lot easier. And that's what we're going to do. So we know we need motherboard power. Is the biggest cord of them all. Is a beefy cable. So as you can see, very big cable. This is the port. The whole connected one piece. This is what you want to run to your motherboard. This will be the 2 parts that go into the back of the power supply. And we're actually going to stand the case up here and take the other side off. It just makes this so much easier because you can run all your cables and everything from the back side being open. So very simple. And just like that, that comes off. Okay, so remember, this up here is the top part where your power cable is going to run. So we're going to run this guy right here. And then this bottom part. See, we got this is the back. So we'll want to actually run through here. And just like that, you already got that taken care of. Now we also want to make sure we run a CPU power. Oh, these are V. And this is so it can provide enough power to your CPU. Very, very important thing. If you don't have enough power, your computer just isn't going to do anything. So make sure you run your cables first. It just makes life so much easier. I feel like it definitely makes life easier. Okay. So the last thing is we're going to have a graphics card that we're obviously going to need to figure out where we want that to go. We're going to also undo this giant bundle of cabling here. It's a rather big bundle of cabling. So this is important stuff, but I don't like how they run it to this. We're going to move this down. All of this. Hopefully I don't rip out the grommet with it. The grommets do move, guys. If you rip them out, it's not the end of the world. Okay. I know some people are like, oh my god, I broke it. No, they're just rubber grommets. That's all they are. It's nothing too crazy here. Okay. So we have this guy set. We got this guy. This guy's good. Yeah. So let's flip it. Let's see, I don't think. Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll just run this. Because we do have a VGA cable. Hold up. There we go. They have like the new VGA cables for the new 30 series with this one, and I don't have that, so not gonna put that in. Let's see. So we got GPU. We'll go in the middle slot with that one. That's usually pretty spot on. Okay. And then the last thing, SATA, because we are using a physical hard disk drive. We're just going to run this now, and that way it's done. We'll just... Oh, hey, there is a system fan. Hold up. The fans on the front have their own controller. So we'll put this one up here. We'll try and run all that to that one if we can. Okay, so last thing we gotta run power-wise is eSATA power. And there we go. We're going to put that Okay, there we go. We got our 500,000 power cables ran. The nice thing I will say, guys, if you do solid state, there is no moving parts. There is no need to run this if you run M2 because that goes directly into the motherboard. That is memory that is directly stored on there. It uses the motherboard bus to transmit data, hence how it's able to hit like 3600 megabytes per second. And also, if you get PCI 4.0, which is more expensive, it's about 230 bucks. You can hit speeds up to 7,000 megabytes per second. It's pretty insane. So do keep that in mind. You know, make sure you obviously build within your budget. Don't overbuild. The nice thing with PCs, you know, whereas like with consoles you're kind of tied, is you can customize these. You know, if you wanted a year down the road to add something new to make it faster, you can do that. So do keep that in mind. You know, don't go spending $3,000 to build a computer that you're going to play Minecraft on. Okay, trust me, it's not worth it. All right. So, got our parts ran. We got our CPU one. And these tend to usually connect to one another. Let me switch to this view again. So if they do interconnect, you do want to try to get them connected to one another when putting them in to the power supply. Unlike I did there, that was a total fail. There we go. They pretty much should just sit like right on top of one another. Why aren't you going in? Hold up. Why is this flipped? Oh, okay. Well, that makes no sense, but they did it that way. So we gotta undo this one. So what they did here is they changed the pins. See how thick this is? This pin connector? Whereas this one's skinny. This one's the only one that can fit on the motherboard. Or the main power connectors for, which I don't understand why they did it that way, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, that's just the way we're gonna have to do it. Okay, now you'll see it connects very simple. There you go, got one in, right? You got your main board, which is two cables stuck into one another. Okay, hold up. I'm gonna have to put this. I'm gonna have to stand this upright at the end of the day. Whether I want to or not, it's just not working. Okay. Because like I don't have any room to work with on this cabling. And that's you can actually still see pretty good there. All right, so we have 3 more cables to connect. Believe. And this one. Oh, sorry, 2 more to connect. There we go. All of them are connected. So you want to put your, and it should just kind of cradle in there, just like that. Flip this. So yeah, like I said, it just kind of cradles in here. And you're going to have 4 screws. Whoa. Am I buzzing? I'm buzzing. Sorry about that. And yeah, so want to pull our screws out of the box. Why am I buzzing? Is that better? Am I buzzing, Bryson? Oh, okay. Maybe it's just on mine. Hey, I'm picking up interference or something. So the screws, you got 4 screws. They're all Phillips. All right, we're getting them hand started. Oh, I know how I can do this. I got an idea. There. So this is kind of a different it's a little different. Let me show you guys. So, here we got our power supply, right? This has, like, some of the weirdest mounting holes I've ever seen in a... I've never seen some mounting holes like this. It's like this one, I don't think this one's actually going into anything. Yeah, it isn't. Hmm. I've never seen that. Let me see if I can get under it and get that screw out of there. It's weird. It's like it started threading, but it didn't actually thread. Is that the hole? I'm so lost. Hmm. And I have two holding it on. This is strange. I've never seen this. It's like the hole is too wide for the screw, like, so it just spins. There we go. So I have to put some elbow butter into it. There. Okay. I ain't going anywhere now. Alright, so power supply in. We're gonna try to rework our wiring here. Just got all over the place. CPU up top. Motherboard's good. Okay. So, to help hopefully keep this from moving, we're gonna go ahead and put the back plate back on. Oh, wrong way. Put the back plate on. Okay. So, all right, back to the task at hand. Getting CPU situated, or the CPU and the motherboard situated. So, you want to make sure your screw holes line up with your motherboard. I think they do. see, 1, 2, 3. A. All right, cool. All of our board pieces line up. We want to pull off our tag here on this guy. This is your PCB connectors for your USB and all that fun stuff. And got it. Just like that. Just sits in there, and then you got all your screws. Now, usually your motherboard comes with no screws. It's actually going to be with your case. I gotta go hunting for him. I bet it's in this box. Yep, there they are. It's a bag of bags. Dude, why is there so many screws? And they include screws for like a radiator and everything. It's crazy. This is music from Harris Heller. Stream Beats. He honestly probably could have done cyberpunk music though. Easily. Hands down, easily could have done the cyberpunk music. Okay, so let's run over this real quick here. So screw wise, you usually have 3 on top, 3 in the middle, 3 on this bottom. So that's 9 screws total, right? Obviously, if you have a bigger, if you have something bigger, it might change a little bit. Let me move. Can I? That's a little bit better, I guess. But another important note when doing these screws, guys, do make sure you don't over tighten them. You do not want to bend the motherboard. Okay, I usually just get them tight enough to where they, you know, are to where I'm having to put a little bit of torque, nothing too crazy. Okay, and you want to do that for the fact of you're going to not A, want to bend the board, but B, make sure that you're not getting too crazy here. You shouldn't have to like kill the board, in the better sense of putting it. If you are doing that, that usually means you're cross-threading them. And, yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah. Cross-thread is no bueno when it comes to motherboards. And, screwdriver that has a magnet end is a high recommendation. I have one. I lost it. I don't know where it went, so I'm gonna have to buy another one. We gotta run this fan power. Just do it now. Fans do need to have power to them. They do not just run on their own. By the way, that is a requirement. Let's see here. And don't really so much worry about tying up cables yet. Get all your stuff in place and then do that. Just trust me. Let's see here. Yep, gotta get this guy. It doesn't really leave us a whole lot of power to run these. Doesn't leave us a whole lot of anything. We're gonna have to rerun the fans power because it just doesn't have enough. There's no way. Motherboard power is good. It's for our GPU. Oh yeah, there's all this crap. Let's see here. We got what's this guy? Oh, the USB. So this is a USB connector. It goes right by. You'll see there's like a tooth on it. It goes right by where your main motherboard power goes. It should just connect in like that. So, these are a nightmare. These are single toss cables, and these are very important because these are what turns on your your motherboard when you hit the power button. So we'll have to make sure we look at the instruction manual before we do that and make sure that we got the right ones going where they need to be. We got HD audio. I have to turn this around again, I think. You'd say it. I hate having to turn it around so much. It's just hard to read. Well, that's not good. We got a bent pin on this board. And it's for HD audio. Alright, hopefully that works. I was able to bend it back. But yeah. That's never a good thing, guys. Even if you get to bend back, there's like a 50-50 shot it might actually work. So, we're not out of the woodworks yet until we actually get to run and it works. So we got power switch, we got HDD LEDs. This is the not fun part of PC building. Power LED plus and negative. What's this one? Reset. Yeah, we gotta get these figured out. When in doubt, use a flashlight. Or Alexa. Alexa, turn all lights white. Ta-da. Let's just look at my mail. Came in first, $160. Hell yeah. Good shit, Dakota. Were you running the Car 98? Dude, that one night, you were wrecking us. Okay, here we go. That's for USB. That is important, but not yet. That's not important. Okay, here we go. So, we got this here. System panel header. Power LED plus minus. Okay, so we got HDD plus minus ground. So fourth one. Okay, that's good. Oh boy. It's HDD LED. Okay, that's good. Okay, got 3 more pins to connect. Power LED plus is the furthest one. And power plus, power minus. We got USB, which these have 1 pin missing. Make sure you line them up right. It will not work. And that should be all of the front power. I gotta figure out this fan situation. Yeah, here, Cam. You better believe it, buddy. You better believe it. Son of a bitch. Okay. How the hell do we power these fans up? So there's 2 fans. Yeah. Oh shit, they have to go to the motherboard headers. Okay, well. All right. I think we almost have a computer built, boys and girls. Now that I got all the wires in, we're gonna finish putting in screws. And take the plastic off too. It's just such a satisfying sound. Pulling plastic off. I don't care. It's just so satisfying. So because we're only running 1 hard drive, You only need one. SATA cable. Man, do they give you 4 SATA cables? That's awesome, Dakota. Good shit, bro. I mean, dude, you're a pretty dirty sniper. Like, you oh, one night, I loved screwing around just having quickscope battles. That was fun. Good times. Okay, so. SATA clips in. That's very easy. We're gonna have to do something with this guy. Might tie that up there, actually. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Hey, anytime, Dakota. You know that. You're a beast. A little bit of wire management goes a long ways too with computer building. Just makes it look better. Hmm. Oh, come on. Okay. Buh. I still can't figure out what's up with that pin up there. At first I thought I was missing adapter piece, but I'm not. Let's look at the old handy dandy manual again, shall we? Mm. Give me a second. All right, we're good. I forgot that's for like a higher end, higher power output required CPU. Got our hard disk drive. Come on. There's one. These guys can be hard sometimes. There. And it just slides in. And there you go. Hard drive's in. We'll have to obviously run power to it. We'll open up the back to do that. And we'll get our graphics card in. I think that's it, guys. Oh yeah, hour and a half almost. Not too shabby. So as I mentioned, this is a R9 290 Radeon card. This is literally the only card I have on hand, and because I couldn't find a card anywhere, I'm gonna have to kind of use a hand-me-down until we can get a card, hopefully in the very near future. But at least we'll be able to play games. You know, the R9 290 still got 4 gigs of DDR3 VRAM. It's still a solid card for how old it is, and it performs really well still for the aging of it. But yeah, there it is. I just opened it up and I already saw a piece of dog hair fly on it. That's awesome. There's another piece. Oh my god. Yeah. So we're gonna stick this bad boy in it. There's a dual, yeah, it's dual slot. So we need these two out. So with these, you just want to pull these thumb screws out. You might need to get, Bigger head screwdriver. I like how they put thumb screws on these, but you can never use your thumbs to loosen them up from the get-go. Ever. It's not a thing. Be careful with these though, guys. You can cut yourself on them and it does not feel good. It's practically sheet metal that you're dealing with. Graphics card. Ain't perfect, but it's better than nothing. At least it's a graphics card. Okay. Real good. Put our thumb screws back on. Oh, come on. Come on. Can't get one to go, yet alone both of them. Thumb screws are great in theory if you can get them to line up. Because you don't have a whole lot of room. Oh, there we go. You don't have a whole lot of room to work with in the first place. We'll hit it again just to make sure it's nice and snug. I don't know if I got this one fastening. Oh, there it goes. Got that time. Okay. Oh, get on there. Why do you upgrade your computers? Well, that's a good question, John. So initially I did not do streaming and all this crazy stuff I do today. Initially I was mainly just using my computer to game on, and that was really it. Now, the beauty of computers is you can customize them with ease. Like, it's very easy to pull out a part and put a new part in. That's better. Like me, for example, when I started streaming, I was like, oh boy, I'm definitely going to need a much more beefier computer for streaming. So, when I started, what is this? So when I started streaming, I had a i7 4700K Intel computer build that I did, and I'm totally not using this cord because this sucks compared to this other one. Yeah, I'm gonna already cut my hand. These heatsink fins, guys, are no joke. You can very easily cut your hand on them. It does not feel good. Okay. We're going to use this one because I don't have to run an adapter then. Oh, come on. There. Okay. You set this guy back up. So, yeah, we got a slight situation with wiring right now. just a slight. Get this out of here. This is like for old GPU. I don't even know why I used it. Not so fun part. Bingo. All right. Last but not least, plug SATA in, and then that should be it. All right. There you have it. No, I'm not. That's in game, dude. That's not. So we got. Oh, man, dude. Fan. That should be everything. I think we're missing something. I think we got it all. Ladies and gents. Okay. Go ahead and plug it in. This is the either exciting or really sad part when building PCs. You want it to work. All right, let's see what it does. Okay. Hey. There you go, ladies and gents. Building a computer. Xbox One startup screen. Like I said, this Corsair 750D case is fantastic. It's very easy to build in. Highly recommend it, especially if you're doing first time build, right? You know, it's nothing too crazy. You're not dealing with glass that can break. It's very straightforward. So that's it. We got ourselves a nice working PC. Don't forget to hit that follow button if you have not done so. We'll be doing more stuff like this, guys. I don't know if you've caught wind or not. I've been hunting for a 3090 since like October. So we'll be doing some stuff with that. But yeah, so this computer, all in all, if you were to build this today, and you got to remember, this does not have a graphics card. It's about $1,000, right? When you start adding graphics cards into the mix, especially with the inflated price that they're at today, it very easily can be a $1,500 computer. Don't do that to yourselves. Wait for stock to come, right? Stock will be in probably sometime in spring. You can get yourself, instead of spending $800 for a $400 video card, you get a $400 video card, right? And you're not giving it to scalpers, which then keeps fueling that fire. But all these parts on Newegg and then Amazon, it ended up being $987.52. So not too shabby, not super expensive. A nice little budget build, get you started gaming. You're not gonna be able to run CD Projekt Red games like Cyberpunk at Ultra, but you'll be able to play it still. Just might not be quite up to par with if you're looking at a higher end PC that's $3,000. So do keep that in mind. If you guys got any questions at all, feel free to shoot me a direct message. I'd be happy to answer any. Also, don't forget we are live pretty much daily, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I think that's pretty much it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I enjoyed building it with you guys. We'll try to get a little bit, more into this type of stuff. I definitely want to get more of a setup for this. Using my camera, I was actually really surprised how well that worked on my, I was pretty happy with that, actually. That was a really cool thing. It's an app on your phone. It's like $5 and it turns your phone into a webcam. So it's pretty cool. Debating on whether to save a build PC or buy Xbox Series X. I will say this. Xbox Series X, you're limited, right? You're very limited. What you get is what you get. You can't swap out parts 2 years down the road when stuff upgrades. That is an R9290, Dakota, because that's all I could find. And it's one I've just had laying around from a computer I upgraded a year ago. So it's R9290. It's got 4 gigs DDR4 VRAM. It's got 1 display port out, 1 HDMI 2.0, and 2 DVIs. DVI-I ports, to be exact. So, not too shabby. Really cheap build. Nothing too crazy. I like these. I do want to say we are going to be switching this to water cooling, and the reason I really, really, really like this case is you have this entire top part that you can fit a radiator in. You can do a 3-fan, 2-fan radiator with ease. It's very, very easy to build in, and it's not a bad looking case for $100. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We're gonna clean this all up. We're gonna get ready to play some Warzone. Dakota, are you guys still playing? Sorry, it took a little bit longer than I wanted to. Dude, that is cheap, Dylan. Like, my computers, I mean, each of them are easily $2,000. So, it is cheap. Trust me. There's some stuff you can skimp out on, right? Like, if you wanted to skimp out on your CPU and go with a Ryzen 5, right? We'll just say a 3500. You're only spending like $200. That, if you're not doing streaming and all that, if you're just wanting to game on it, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Yeah, Bryson, you're up there with mine. Mine's with the 2080 right now. Let's see, 2080 with 3900X. 3900X is $500 right now. I spent $650 like 6 months ago on it. It really hurts when I think about that. Yeah. it can get expensive, man. But I'll be honest, Bryson, you probably have shit on there you don't really need for what you're wanting to use it for. And that's the thing, right? Like, you don't need to just blow $2,400 and build a computer. You could spend, half of that, $1,200, build a computer, see how well it runs your stuff, and then from there go about upgrading it to fit your needs. Send me where'd you build that at? Did you build that on Newegg or PC Part Picker? I was going to say, if you built it on a PC Part Picker, you can save that build and shoot me a hyperlink to it, and I'll give you. Yeah, so if it's in Newegg, there is a way to do it. I can't remember. Here, what about this? Can you take a screenshot and send it to me? And I'll look at it and shoot me a text message with the pictures and also what you want to do. Right? Like, what games do you want to be able to play? And does it matter if it's at Ultra, or do you just want to be able to play it and stream at the same time? That's, a big thing. So, yeah, you can go ahead and do that. Send it over to me. I'll take a look at it. So, but yeah, so that is our Ryzen 7 3700X build. Again, right under $1,000. Got yourself a pretty solid gaming PC. If you slap, a 3070, 3060 Ti, if you're able to get one, that's a $1,400 gaming machine that's going to last you quite a while before it needs upgraded. And it's really, I say that because these new video cards, guys, are so powerful. There's really no games yet that are fully tapping those graphics cards to the fullest of their abilities. So, $400 video card, you might easily be able to get like 6 years out of it before you're needing to upgrade. So, not too shabby. At the end of the day. A cracked phone and Xbox headset with a damaged jack is the ideal stream. You want to know the most important part about streaming? It's not the camera. There's so many successful streamers that don't even have a camera. The most important part, right, when it comes to streaming is audio. And I'm not talking game audio. I'm talking your ability to watch chat and interact with your viewers. If you can do that, you can be successful. You don't need to have, in my case, you don't need to have a $1,500 monitor. You don't need to have a $3,000 computer. There's a lot of streamers, they use like a laptop and they use this app called Lightstream to stream their Xbox to their laptop wirelessly, and they're super successful. So don't ever assume you need to have $5,000 to stream. You don't. You don't need it. So, but we're gonna go ahead and shut this off, get all cleaned up, start getting Windows installed. I'm sure you guys don't want to see that. It's a very boring experience, let me tell you. We'll get Windows installed, everything, and we'll be live, I'd say, in about 15 minutes or so. We'll get that going, and that way we can start focusing on the important things at hand, like, me kicking kids' ass and some Warzone. It'll be a good time. So, Dakota, you guys still playing, right? Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, he is. Okay. So, again, don't forget to hit that follow button. Hopefully you guys enjoy the stream. Those will be going up on YouTube after the stream. It'll be getting uploaded. And keep on raging on, guys. Have a good one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. Hopefully we'll catch you back here in about 15-20 minutes for some Warzone content. Thanks.